Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Guess what? We have another amazing Global Grief Conference 2025 presenter for you guys. And, we're just going to be sitting up here. They're going to come up here and tell you what they're going to be doing at the conference. And remember, the conference is April 25th, 26th, and the 27th, starting off at 7 a.m. Friday morning, Mountain Time. And we're going to keep going until Sunday night. And we have a lot of great presenters for you. Now, I'm going to bring on my next guest. They're going to come on. They're going to talk to you about what they're going to be doing, the dates and times, and, give you guys a pretty good idea of what we're bringing. All right. Mir, how you doing?
I am great. Thank you so much, Tony. How are you?
I am doing amazing. Look, we out here. We doing the doggone thing, right? We are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, now before we get started, tell people who you are. Tell people who you are and where you're from.
Okay. First of all, again, I can't thank you enough, Tony, for putting all this together, for having this conference, for having all these amazing people come together and giving me a chance to be a small part of this conference. I am so, so grateful to you, Tony, for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Of course, and thank you for taking the opportunity to want to be a part of this. Right, we're about to rock this thing out. This is our third annual year, and we're still rocking it. Right, and you've had the chance to meet a lot of the presenters that are going to be coming up here. Right,
Yeah.
and so what? Tell people what are you going to be presenting on at the conference.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, a little introduction of myself. I am Meher Sayed. I'm a grief coach, and my work is all about supporting people as they navigate life after losing a partner or a spouse. And grief can feel incredibly isolating, and I've made it my mission to create spaces both online and offline where people feel seen, heard, and understood. And at this year's Global Grief Conference, I am steering a session titled Holding Space for Grief in a Fast Paced Digital World.
Mm,
Because when I sat down to choose the topic of my session, Tony, I was transported back to the time where it all started. And I knew I had to share something deeply heartfelt and personal. And this topic is deeply personal to me because when I lost my husband due to sudden cardiac arrest, one of the hardest feelings that I had was it was like the world was moving while I was standing still,
right.
and social media, constant notifications, friends' messages, pressure to be okay. It made grieving all the more overwhelming. And at the same
Mm,
time, I would say that my smartphone became my best friend. It became my lifeline. I spent hours searching for stuff related to grief, for others who have been through something similar, trying to figure out what grief is supposed to look like and how to survive it. Now, in this session, I'll talk about how the digital world can both help and it can hurt while grieving, because the pressures of grieving online, the moments when when everything feels strange or absurd and we can't make sense of how to create a real space for grief in a world that doesn't slow down. So I
mhm.
want this to be a conversation where I would love to have comments and questions about what others have felt like in a similar situation.
Right. Now, what day and time are you going to be presenting? Oh,
So I'll be online on 26 April, 12 p.m. Mountain Time. So that's the time I'll be presenting.
guys, you guys will be able to tune in. Of course, this is going to be a live stream event and everything. So, we do welcome all your comments, all your questions for any of the presenters. And we have a lot more coming for you guys. So, what I'm saying? And Mir, she's going to be bringing something, to the table. It's going to be new, exciting. And I know a lot of people out there that can relate to this, right? This digital world, the feeling that the feeling that you always have to be okay, being pressured into being okay, even though you're not. So thank you, Mir, for doing this. And what can people expect to take away from your presentation?
Okay, so my session would be about making space for grief, and I want people to walk away feeling seen and understood. Like they don't have to rush their healing because the world keeps moving.
Right.
And we'll talk about the challenges of grieving in the digital age, the paradox of social media, and ways to set boundaries so that the online world doesn't add to the overwhelm. And I'll also be sharing a downloadable grief self-care checklist. It's something simple but really helpful to remind you of small ways to take care of yourself when you're grieving, because loss is all consuming and sometimes even the most basic self-care slips away. So this checklist is designed to gently guide you back to yourself one step at a time.
I love that. I love that. And now, how can people find you?
Yeah, people can find me online through my website, griefcoachingwithmeher.com. And I'm also on Instagram, Grief Coach with Meher. And they can look into my channel, my YouTube channel by the name Grief Talk, where I share conversations about grief, healing, and moving forward. And so if anyone's looking for a safe space to navigate loss after losing their spouse, I'd love to connect with them.
I love that. I love that. Now, for everyone else out there, like this is just one of many amazing presenters. And of course, I'm going to give you a refresher. We will be going live, right? So this is a live streaming event for 3 days, April 25th, the 26th, and the 27th, right? So you guys tune in. Let's rock this thing out, right? Tune in. Get your questions and comments answered. Be a part of what we got going on. But most importantly, share this around with other people. We're going to be streaming across all your social media platforms. So, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, all of these different things. You guys can tune in on any one of those. But if you want to catch the full conference, tune in on either your Rumble or either on the YouTube channel, right? And guys, with that being said, this is going to conclude this one. And, we got many more coming. So you guys keep your eyes out. I'm going to see you guys probably a little bit later, maybe tomorrow. We got more presenters that I'm going to be bringing to you. You guys, love you. And mark your calendars. See you in the next one.